Objection sustained.
That is not something you provided voluntarily, is it, sir?
What is that, sir? What are you talking about?
Your fingerprints. That is not something you provided voluntarily. They had to issue a subpoena for you.
Yes.
This is also approximately when, in December of 2008, or shortly in early January 2008, is when the video surfaced of Dominic Casey and Jim Hoover searching in the wooded area. Is that correct?
That's a possibility. I don't know the exact time.
Now, you at this time had noticed this video and become aware of it. Did you ever ask Dominic Casey what he was doing there?
Objection. Point in time, vague question, and hearsay. And relevance.
Rephrase the question, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir. In January, early January 2009, when this video first surfaced, did you go to your investigator, Dominic Casey, and ask him what he was doing in the woods?
Objection assumes, in fact, not in evidence that this video, quote-unquote, surfaced in January 2009.
Oh, well, we can ask the question again.
I didn't know anything about a video being shot until it was released.
Which was early January 2009. Do you not recall, sir?
If that's when it happened, sir, then that's when it is. I don't really remember.
So my question to you is, did you go and ask Dominic Casey what he was doing in the woods?
No.
They had just found your granddaughter in that same vicinity, did they not?
I was told that in December, but I did not get that information from Dominic Casey. I didn't have a conversation with him on that.
Have you ever had a conversation with Dominic Casey asking him what he was doing in the woods 1 month before Kaylee was found?
No, I never have.
Never sparked your curiosity?
Ask and answer.
Sustained.
After all of these investigations and search warrants and the subpoenas, sir, in early January of 2009, did you feel the walls closing in on you?
Yes. Argumentative, assumes fact, not in evidence.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand your question, sir.
You knew you were being investigated, didn't you, sir?
Yes. Not in evidence.
He asked for clarification, Judge.
There's no evidence that Mr. Anthony was being investigated.
I think we heard evidence by the answers.
Rephrase the question.
The pressure was getting to you, wasn't it, sir?
Argumentative.
Was the pressure getting to you, Mr. Anthony?
Objection. Argumentative.
Oh, yeah.
From the beginning, July 15, 2008, I have always cooperated with any law enforcement, any FBI, any Florida Department of Law Enforcement, with you, sir, even anyone that I could get information about my granddaughter or help in any way to bring her back home. I did that.
All of that cooperation ended on December 20th when you asked sheriff's officers to leave your home, correct?
Well, sir, I've answered this question numerous times, and I'll answer it one more time for you. The loss of my granddaughter, when I first knew that she was missing, and the ultimate time it was found out that she was no longer with us, that was a tumultuous time in my life, my wife's life, my son's life, and everyone in our family's life, to lose our granddaughter and a potential to lose my daughter.
My question, sir, was all of that cooperation ended on December 20th, 2008, when you instructed the police officers in a not-so-polite manner to leave your home. Isn't that correct, sir?
I was upset that day, sir. I was very upset. I had every right to be upset that day.
You understand my question, sir?
Yes, sir, and I've answered your question. I was upset that day.
So from there on,
People have been investigated because of this, besides myself. And I have opened myself up for every part of the investigation. I have nothing to hide.
is the answer yes or no, sir?
If you'd like to ask me if it's a yes or no answer, I have completely cooperated, so that would be a yes.
Now, prior to the suicide, you were, the day of this attempted suicide, you were calling everybody to let them know you were going to commit suicide.
Sustained, rephrase the question.
You called many, many people, did you not, sir?
Yes, I did.
You even called me.
Probably did. I don't remember if I called you or not. I probably did.
You wanted everyone to know, long before you were about to attempt to commit suicide, that you were going to do it.
Objection. Leading argumentative.
Sustained.
As to leading, sir?
Argumentative.
And after this alleged attempt, sir, you immediately left the hospital and went to Putnam County to be on television, did you not, sir?
No, sir.
Did you not go and have several media appearances shortly within 24 hours of leaving the hospital?
Not from leaving the hospital, no, sir.
Did you have, well, how long before you went and made media appearances?
If you can give me a particular date or an instance you're talking about, sir, I can probably give you all the information you want.
Sure, January 22nd is the day of this alleged attempt, is it not?
Well, sir, it wasn't an alleged attempt. It was an attempt on my... I tried to take my own life. But
Okay.
that's not alleged. That happened.
Okay, now, after that date, when's the next time you were on Fox News?
I have no idea, sir. I have no idea.
Was it within 48 hours?
I don't believe so.
An answer, Judge.
Sustained.
I have no further questions.
Just a couple more, Mr. Anthony. You traveled to California with your wife to be on a national show hosted by a gentleman by the name of Larry King just before the remains were found. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in fact,
This is beyond the scope of redirect. He's discussing issues of December 11th.
counsel
Or
specifically asked
December
about
10th, I should say.
Larry King.
Overruled.
And the purpose of that media appearance was to publicize the disappearance of your daughter and the plight of other missing children. That's what you talked about.
Well, the disappearance of my granddaughter, yes, and how it's affected our lives.
And did you learn of remains being found before you left California or when you arrived?
In the morning, just prior to boarding our plane, we had gotten phone calls. I can't remember if it was Mr. Baez or not, or the Sheriff's Department, or a conjunction with one right after the other, but Cindy got some calls, and they had found a small child.
When you arrived back in town, you were whisked to the Ritz-Carlton, correct? Someone
Yes,
picked
yes,
you up
sir.
and took you
It
there.
was when we arrived, within probably an hour after we had settled on the plane, we were taken to eventually what I saw was the Ritz-Carlton, yes.
You didn't arrange that or request that. Someone got it on your behalf and you were taken there.
Yes, we were taken there, yes.
Did you have at least a small window of privacy with your wife to deal with the news that you had just heard?
On our plane ride back, we did have a little bit of time wondering what was going on. That's a 5-hour flight. When we arrived and we were told we couldn't get off the plane till everyone was off of it, and we had Orlando Police Department, a numerous amount of people holding us back to get off, the only time that Cindy and I could really comprehend what was happening with us is when we were in a vehicle leaving the airport, and we're both just completely just falling apart, wondering what's going on, what's next. To say what our exact emotions or thoughts were at that time, we were just trying to just console each other. Hold on. That's all we had was each other.
Were you all communicating with Mr. Baez during that period of time?
The only time I can remember when we talked to Mr. Baez was later that evening.
In fact, you and your wife had
On the road.